All right, you guys, we're on to the last chapter of the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane. So the previous chapter, chapter 26, ended with, remember the baby doll that was 100 years old, she thinks she's a century old, kept telling him that someone will come, and he didn't want to believe it, but it was too late. It says the China rabbit's heart had begun again to open. Let's see. Final chapter, chapter 27. Seasons passed, fall and winter and spring and summer. Leaves blew in through the open door of Lucius Clark's shop, and rain, and the green, outrageous, hopeful light of spring. People came and went, grandmothers and doll collectors and little girls with their mothers. Edward Tulane waited. The seasons turned into years. Edward Tulane waited. He repeated the old doll's words over and over until they wore a smooth groove of hope in his brain. Someone will come. Someone will come for you. And the old doll was right. I'm actually going to fold this over, just in case. When I was a kid, I used to read ahead, so now you guys can't. Someone did come. It was springtime. It was raining. There were dogwood blossoms on the floor of Lucius Clark's shop. She was a small girl, maybe 5 years old, and while her mother struggled to close a blue umbrella, the little girl walked around the store, stopping and staring solemnly at each doll, and then moving on. When she came to Edward, she stood in front of him for what seemed like a long time. She looked at him, and he looked back at her. "Someone will come," Edward said. "Someone will come for me." The girl smiled, and then she stood on her tiptoes and took Edward off the shelf. She cradled him in her arms. She held him in the same ferocious, tender way Sarah Ruth had held him. "Oh," thought Edward, "I remember this." "Madame," said Lucius Clark, "could you please attend to your daughter? She is holding a very fragile, very precious, quite expensive doll." "Maggie," said the woman. She looked up from the still open umbrella. "What have you got?" "A rabbit," said Maggie. "A what?" said the mother. "A rabbit," said Maggie again. "I want him." "Remember, we're not buying anything today. We're looking only," said the woman. "Madame," said Lucius Clark, "please." The woman came and stood over Maggie. She looked down at Edward. The rabbit felt dizzy. He wondered for a minute if his head had cracked open again, if he was dreaming. "Look, Mama," said Maggie. "Look at him." "I see him," said the woman. She dropped the umbrella. She dropped her umbrella. She put her hand on the locket that hung around her neck. And Edward saw then that it was not a locket at all. It was a watch, a pocket watch. It was his watch. "Edward?" said Aileen. "Yes," said Edward. "Edward," she said again, certain this time. "Yes," said Edward. "Yes, yes, yes. It's me." He made it back home. God, I love this. I'm not sure what coda means. I have to look it up. Because sometimes they have something at the end. Sorry, Miss Antonella was obviously crying. I just think that this whole story has such a great lesson. So let me read this. I don't know. Let's see what it says. It says, "Once there was a China rabbit who was loved by a little girl. And the rabbit went on an ocean journey and fell overboard and was rescued by a fisherman. He was buried under garbage and unburied by a dog. He traveled for a long time with the hobos and worked for a short time as a scarecrow. Once there was a rabbit who loved a little girl and watched her die. The rabbit danced on the streets of Memphis. His head was broken open in a diner and was put together again by a doll mender. And the rabbit swore that he would not make the mistake of loving again. Once there was a rabbit who danced in a garden in springtime with the daughter of the woman who loved him at the beginning of his journey. The girl swung the rabbit as she danced in circles. Sometimes they went so fast, the two of them, that it seemed as if they were flying. Sometimes it seemed as if they both had wings. Once, oh marvelous once, there was a rabbit who found his way home. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. It's always nice going back and rereading the story. I'm going to read this too. I hope you don't mind. I mean, you guys could have already paused it or stopped it. But they always give a little background about Kate, the author, Kate T. Camilo. So I wonder if it'll tell us how she kind of got her inspiration. And if not, it's fine. So it says here, she's the author of The Tale Despero, which received the Newbery Medal. She was the author because of Winn-Dixie, which received a Newbery Honor. The Tiger Rising, which was named a National Book Award finalist. The Magician's Elephant, illustrated by Yoko Tanaka. The Mercy Watson stories, which I know a lot of you guys have read. And Great Joy, also illustrated by Bagram Ibatuline. I hope I didn't butcher that. About the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane, she says, "One Christmas, I received an elegantly dressed toy rabbit as a gift. A few days later, I dreamed that the rabbit was face down on the ocean floor, lost and waiting to be found. In telling the story, I was lost for a good long while too, and then finally, like Edward, I was found." So she did get it from her own life. A lot of them are inspired by true events. I just think that this story is just so great. It took us on so many adventures, and it really it teaches a lesson. I'm not going to tell you what that lesson is. Maybe you guys could talk about it amongst yourselves, with your family. Maybe we could talk about it in Google Classroom. But I just, like I said, a third grader introduced it to me when I was student teaching. He actually did a whole project. He created a whole game board. He was so passionate about it. And I remember the cooperating teacher who I worked with and I were like, we've never read this book. And like, we both went to the kids' library, the elementary school's library, and we took it out, and we both just couldn't stop talking about it. The two of us both had puffy eyes the next day because we had finished it in one sitting. And it stuck with me all these years later. So I hope that it's a book that will stick with you guys too. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.